This video is sponsored by OneFootball. OneFootball's app makes it easy to keep up to date with transfer news, scores and stats all in the one place. To download the OneFootball app, click the link in the description. The app is free. To watch more of this video, get over and join us on Patreon.
But interesting question. What would you take? What would you not take to Bramley Moor Dock?
I can tell you right now what I wouldn't take. Shit Derby record. That can stay. Rara Goodison.
I don't know, but when we leave, we might have
it might be good then.
Might be good.
Well, no, generally over time it'll still be shit. I think the important thing for us to take will be how, I don't know whether take as such, but to recreate would be, and this comes down to Dan Mice obviously, the proximity of the pitch at Goodison in terms of where the fans are. I think that's the one thing I'd like to take away from Goodison, if you'd ask me, would be how close we are to the pitch. We've seen over the past 5 games now, when the crowd get involved in the game, the difference it can make to the players. Even against Burnley the other night, the opening half an hour, the atmosphere was brilliant in the first 5 or 10 minutes the other night of a game, a last game of the season with nothing on it. But the crowd were brilliant from when the siren come on, and at intervals in the game. The team started better than I've seen the team start for ages. So I think that's one thing I would really like to take. I know Steve mentioned the atmosphere, and that is vital. But I think if you've got if it's designed with proximity, being very, very close to the pitch, I think that'll really help in this new stadium.
Yeah. I mean, that's more to do with the design of the stadium now, isn't it?
But it's a difficult one, isn't it? What would you take?
No, because I understand.
Take the goalposts.
No, I think that's what he's asking. I mean, there are traditions that you would take to a new ground. I wouldn't take wooden seats.
No.
I know there's this.
Wasn't there a thing of?
Wasn't there like?
But didn't he say some were gonna go in a bar though within the stadium?
I think there was talk, wasn't there, that there'd be a bar inside that would be built using different parts of Goodison Park, so maybe some of the Archibald Leach stuff and things like that, which is, I can understand all that, that'd be really good, but I don't like this idea of taking seats out the ground and putting 1,878 seats. No. Sorry, no. It's a new,
I suppose it depends.
It's a new stadium, and no, just, you could have a couple inside here or there, just dotted around a concourse, whatever, but for a brand new state-of-the-art stadium, no, that's a big no-no for me. But I mean, you want to take your tradition with you, don't you? You want to take part of your tradition. I think some clubs have moved from their grounds to new grounds, and there's a willingness, they really. I remember Main Road, right? It was like 4 different stands that didn't complement themselves. Goodison feels to me like, I don't know, and this might just be, but because it's all the same height, and it does feel like it's one thing. Whereas I remember Main Road just felt like 4 different stands that had been built at different times.
Well, they had, hadn't they? Certainly.
And Goodison feels like, because it's been, apart from the park end, because it's been, which, I mean, no, park end's 25 years old now, isn't it? So apart from the park end, the other 3 sides feel very much like one thing. It all wraps around in a way, and whereas other grounds, I just felt like, they were happy to go. I don't know. I mean, it's each to their own, because you don't have that attachment. When Tottenham left, it never felt like to me when Tottenham left that. Maybe because they were building on the same site.
Yeah.
Arsenal, I think it was hard for them to leave.
West Ham was
and I think when Arsenal left, I actually think that signalled a big change in that club. So a lot of people, they would say that was for the better, but for a lot of people I remember they moved. I remember when they turned the badge around so people couldn't copyright it. Little things like that just felt like this club is going somewhere else now. West Ham's a good example, mostly because I felt like when West Ham moved, a lot of their fans were like, this is who we are. We don't need that big stadium which isn't really ours and wasn't built for us. And I think they were like, this is fine.
I think they've totally lost their identity.
No, I do. No, I
do.
think they've tried to create an identity that's simply
That
not West Ham, and I think that's why this is interesting, because we've got the chance in going to a new ground and making it our own thing, but keeping the things that we, from Goodison, that will keeps our identity. It just puts them in a new place. I think that's what's interesting. So, certainly there's a lot of things like, obviously, you would expect Everton to run out at any ground to Z cars.
That's the Siren.
And the Siren. The Siren's in there now, and it's in there. It's part of it. It's funny how things, isn't it funny how quickly something's like, you can't mess with that, you can't mess with that. But if something works, you're like, that's got to be there.
And they had it spot on against Burnley. The timing was perfect.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, no one ever was like, don't make like people. I heard people say before, why don't we maybe do the Tony Bellew version? And people are like, no. It's the same with like kind of flags in the Gladys seat. And then as soon as it happens and it works, and
the flags the other night was, they defo been watching the Frankfurt game against Chelsea the night before. There was flags everywhere. But I think one thing I'd like to see, and I don't know whether it worked, I haven't seen any designs, wouldn't have a clue, but I would like to see some Archibald Leach stuff in the new just on, even if it was a print.
Alright.
Right.
This is alright. This brings me to something that I seen last night, right? You're smiling like you know. But do you know?
Is it Man City?
It's Man City, because that was last night.
Yeah. So is it where they had the flags?
So they have right.
Yeah.
They have a thing that goes all the way around, like Tottenham. So Tottenham last week had all the Champions League logos on their thing, which is fine. So last night Man City had flags, and they were digital flags, right? And I've seen a couple of Liverpool tweets. They should have. I don't actually think that's a bad thing, because it is 2019, right? If those flags are actual flags that have been taken and photographed and then recreated on a thing, then I actually don't have any problem with that.